Giant Hot Takes podcast for our second Overreaction off day. I'm your host, Jack. I'm joined by my co-host, Jake. And so just to recap the week, we had a busy week. We actually went to San Diego, so that's why there hasn't been many articles. But we fully launched the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Check us out there. Even if you don't watch on Spotify, we'd appreciate the follow. Also, make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. We saw good growth, gained 10 to 15 subscribers just off the first episode, which was really positive. So we're starting to grow pretty quickly here. Got a solid amount of views there. We appreciate you guys tuning in. If you know any other Giants fans, feel free to pass it along. We want to grow this thing to become fan-centered and have them send in Q&A and all that type of stuff. And then so today we're going to cover the Blue Jays Twins series, kind of an unfortunate homestand from the boys, went 3-3. Then we'll dish out some overreactions. It's crunch time for this team heading into the All-Star break, and we have a lot to discuss. So just kicking this thing off, Blue Jays came to town. We predicted 4-2, 5-1. Jake said 5-1. I definitely thought it was possible. We roll in there. Snell start. Don't really know what to expect from the Snellzilla. He goes out there, shoves 5 innings, 3 Ks. It started off on a positive note, Jake. What did you like from Snell, and what did you ultimately like in this big 4-3 win to start off the homestand?
Snell, he was, compared to what he's been doing this year, his pitch count was down significantly, even though he had 3 walks. He wasn't getting to as many full counts. He was using a lot more meaningful pitches, and that really drove him to get more into this game. Only 1 hit allowed through 5 innings. You can't ask for anything better. I think Snell's back. That's just my personal opinion. He's a second-half pitcher, and he's said that himself, and he's kind of proven it right now. So I love what he's doing right now, and I hope that he could lead this team to a playoff spot, as that's what all Giants fans want. So in the series, 3-3, thinner, the 2 series. Took 2 out of 3 against the Twins, and then 1 out of 3 against the Blue Jays. So, it's not what we wanted, but we'll take it. It's better than going negative. So the Blue Jays series, first game, obviously, we hit the ball. We had 9 hits, 4 runs. The offense was doing its thing. The big 7th inning for the Blue Jays was, the only thing that game.
Off Walker, which was weird.
Yeah.
3-run bomb.
Yeah.
Just piggybacking off the offense, 13 strikeouts is just ridiculous. I know we were watching actually in this barn, and it was just, I couldn't even watch. Jake was just yelling expletives at the TV. Offense was okay, but can we sustain 13 strikeouts a game?
Kikuchi set a career high record. He's a veteran in the league too. So when you got a guy like him he's in his 30s and he's setting career records now, it's just not really acceptable from the offense. That's the weak point. 9 hits, but 14 strikeouts. The only times we were putting the ball in plays, it seemed to have been a hit. So, I was a little bit disappointed with Walker's performance, especially after Randy Rodriguez threw, 10 pitches in 1 inning. And, he, in the past, he's been a guy who can go a couple innings for sure in the minors. So I thought that putting him back out there for 1 more wouldn't have been the end of the world. But Melvin thought differently, and it clearly didn't go well.
Also, completely baffling. It's a 3-2 game. We get it back to 3-3. We trot out for the 8th inning. We touched on it last game. Tie game, we go Luke Jackson. It didn't come back to bite us in the ass this time. I guarantee you it will later in the season. But you go Jackson. Can't defend Melvin on that one. And then you roll over to Miller in the 9th. He throws well. Then kind of like a fluky way to win the game in the 9th. It was a walk, a base hit, and then Wisely gets a random, not 80 exit velocity base up the middle, scores, forget who it was, then Fitzgerald scores on a pass ball. Incredible job by Fitz.
Down to his last strike.
Yeah, down to his last strike. Good job by Tyro staying alive, and Fitz scores. And if I told you Fitz scored on that first game, you'd think he'd play another game this homestand, right?
He hasn't played in 5 straight after that game, by the way.
Unbelievable. And then so rolling into game 2, Logan Webb on the bump, coming off a Snell win. I know Jake was in attendance, feeling pretty good, scored 2 runs in the bottom of the first. There's no freaking way we lose this game, right, Jake?
I was at that game. I'm telling my peers, I'm like, CG watch, everybody. It's CG watch. Logan Webb threw 2 innings, and he's at, 25 pitches? That's got Logan Webb CG written all over it. But come around towards the 5th inning, and then shit hits the fan, literally. 8 hits, 7 runs, 7 earned, a home run. I mean, he was getting just tossed around out there. And then Jelly comes in, doesn't make it any better. 3 hits, 2 earned. It just wasn't looking good right out the gate after that 5th inning. It's just bad. It was 2. We're up 2. Then it was 4-10. Luke Jackson comes in, 3 innings. If Luke Jackson's coming in for 3 innings, then that's just the white flag being waved loud and proud. Yep, loud and proud.
Right there.
If there's anything more like the Giants than hitting 2 home runs in the 9th, nearly 3 in a row, there wouldn't be anything. It's the most Giants thing ever. Patrick Bailey, dead center. Matt Chapman to left. Back-to-back. Conforto, left center. Almost leaves, warning track. And then, what a great way to just end it, getting everyone excited, thinking we're going to come back, and then no. It's just short of 4 runs.
Oh, yeah.
It was just a miserable second game. The pitching really just didn't do anything that game.
Giants baseball, we've been saying it, there's nothing like it. You throw Jackson for 3 innings. Jackson shouldn't throw 3 innings for the SRV Wolves next year. And so you roll into game 3, it's like rubber match. Blue Jays really thought we had a good shot at a sweep there. I don't know about you. You got Snell and Webb. And you roll into game 3, and Hicks, man, I can't do it with Hicks anymore. Gets just torched in the first inning, 3 earned. The vibes are pretty low. We were heading to San Diego that day. I was like, man, if we lose this game to the Blue Jays, I don't know that I'm getting on that plane. Bottom of the first, Ramos, bomb to left. All-star. You can't say enough about this guy. Hicks pays him back in the 4th and the 5th, giving up 2 more runs. Final stat line, 4.1 innings, 8 hits, 5 earned. Gave up 2 bombs, only struck out 1. We'll touch on Hicks. Spoiler alert, he's in the overreaction section. But really disappointing loss by the Giants there. Can't be dropping series with the Jays. What did you see in that last game? And this is it's these type of games that I think ultimately keep teams out of the playoffs.
Well, we had a little bit of fight in that last inning. Came up just short. But, it's been the pitching. That's really what it's been. 3 runs on 7 hits should make a game close almost every time. When, you got the other team getting 10 hits and 5 runs, and we're giving up these type of – that's been 4 straight games. They're like the series average for their runs was, somewhere near around 6.57 runs. So, you got to, at some point, find a way to stop it. So, Yaz, 2 for 4 night. He's been playing ball. We're going to get more into him later. Patrick Bailey, 2 for 4 after that week away stretch. He really found a way to bounce back. And, but overall, it was the pitching in that game. And I think that's really – it needs to be the main focus after the All-Star break.
Yeah, the second half. And, the pitching, it's spotty, but there's enough signs of life. You roll into the Twins series, very good ball club coming to town. Brutal series loss against the Blue Jays. And start that series off, you got Kyle Harrison on the bump. Kyle got pieced in Cleveland. He comes back here, just shoves, 5.1 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned, 3 strikeouts, 83 pitches. That was kind of the Kyle Harrison we expected to see. What'd you like from Kyle there? Offense looked great, kind of cruised to a 7-1 win.
The offense was amazing. Every part about it. Everyone was contributing that game besides Tyro Estrada, and what to expect from him. Oh. Conforto, 1 for 2, 2 RBIs. Ramos, 2 for 4, again, another amazing night. Soler had a big hit in the first. Wisely, he damn near hit for the cycle. Can't expect more out of a 9-hitter from him. He had a great game that game. Everything just went well. Harrison coming off a bad start, really locked in, went 5.1. It was great. Great game from the bullpen, too. Duvall had a little bit of an iffy going there. We're up 6 throwing Duvall. It's really interesting to do that. And, he's laughing out there, not covering the bag. Giving up 2 hits that way.
Duvall was out there collecting a paycheck.
Yeah, smile disappears quickly when Duvall goes in the game. So,
So we lose the second game 4-2. Not really much to discuss there. Birdsong looked pretty good. Then today, Snell's perfect through 6. We look really good. Ty Rogers comes in, kind of closes the door in the 8th. And then the smile did vanish very quickly for Duvall there in the 9th. I mean, can you keep doing this? This is getting ridiculous, man.
He's blown 4.
Yeah, so he's blown 4. He comes in, walks the first guy, and you're like, oh, okay, Duvall, like, here we go. This is what I apologize for the language. This is why you don't fuck around when you're up 6. So, I mean, you got to if you're going to get your work in, like, it's okay to throw a bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
We shouldn't do the closer, awesome, cool light show for a guy who has an ERA almost in the 5s and has blown 4 saves. And so he comes out today, just gets rocked, walk, hit. He got an out in there somewhere. Deep, should have been triple. He tripped, and then he was done. Walker kind of closed the door. Yaz bails us, but can you keep this up with Duvall? I mean, he's actually going to get touched on later, but I mean, is it safe to say this should be Walker's role?
I've been saying it should have been Walker's role for like a month now. I mean, Duvall has been embarrassing. He doesn't know how to field a baseball. He's literally in there to just throw the ball as hard as he can with some damn good spin on it. But, I mean, he doesn't find the zone very often. He doesn't throw a lot of meaningful pitches. And if he does, I mean, it's an accidental slider that's painted on the corner. I mean, it should be Ryan Walker's role. He's been better this year. He's had more innings. I mean, he's a young guy with a lot of potential with a funky arm slot. I think he would fit that role just fine. I mean, I don't understand why they wouldn't go to him. He can find the zone. And, I mean, that's one thing you need to have a closer, some electric stuff with a guy who can find the zone. And I think that Walker should at least get a shot or two within the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. And then, so, I mean, I just wrote this note down. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I mean, is Wade hurt? I mean, Wade
doesn't play.
Doesn't play.
Doesn't like to play at all.
I mean, like, refuses to pinch hit. I mean, he hurt the hamstring in early. I think our season was still going on when he hurt his hamstring. So, I mean, what the hell can we expect from Wade? Should we trade for a first baseman? I mean, it's getting ridiculous.
I mean, if Melvin's not going to play him or if he's going to decide not to play, then 100%, because Flores can't go out there every day.
Oh, no.
He's embarrassing. I mean, he's done nothing good this past month for this team. He's been injured. He came off the injury list. He's struck out a couple times. He's grounded out off a jam shot a couple times. He's not hustled out a ground ball a couple times. He doesn't do anything right for this team. He doesn't have any grit to win games.
Can't field either.
Yeah, he's just an old guy that he's kind of there to keep the fans with a smile on their face, but a true fan would understand that he shouldn't be there. But yeah, I mean, I love Wade. I think they should be playing him versus lefties and versus righties. I mean, an eye doesn't change if you're on base is like 460. I mean, he's gonna walk versus both sides. He's gonna see the ball well versus both sides. I think that he deserves more of a chance. And if Melvin decides to not do that, then I think we should push for a first baseman definitely before the end of this trade deadline.
Yeah, no, and I mean, you mentioned that Flores keeps the smile on fans' faces. I'd appreciate you to find 5 fans who enjoy watching Flores taking that bat right now. So on a more positive note, Robbie Ray, last rehab start today in Visalia against the Rawhide, throws 5 innings, 9 strikeouts of 0 run ball. I mean, Ray is just kind of a guy we're going to need here pretty soon. He's slated to come back during that Dodgers series, so second series out of the All-Star break. I mean, that could be huge for us. If you have a 3-headed monster of Webb and Snell and Ray, I mean, that could be huge. Maybe move Hicks to the bullpen. I mean, Ray looks great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Ray, I mean, he's got some electric stuff. I mean, he's a Cy Young winner of 2021 for the Blue Jays. Yeah, I think we could use a guy like him for sure. I mean, he's real similar to Snell, I feel like, with a little bit maybe more location. But, yeah, I mean, he's got that electric stuff from the left side. And, I mean, if we got 3 power lefties in our rotation, I think that could be crucial for the second half of the season for sure.
Yeah, no, and then just slide into the overreactions. I mean, this was a pretty miserable homestand for me to watch. I don't even know how we won 3 games. We should have gotten swept by the Jays. Probably shouldn't have won the day. Easily could have gone 1-5, so it almost feels like a win to go 3-3, which is just brutal against those guys. So my first player to discuss today was Thairo Estrada. His last 23 ABs, he's 2 for 23 with an 86 batting average with 2 RBIs. He actually had a hit today, so could have been worse. And, I mean, you want to guess if he has any walks in that stretch? I don't even want you to guess. He does not. On the year, he's hitting 220, 252 on base percentage. I mean, this is like T-ball numbers. Not going to cut it. An OPS of 608. I mean, him and Nick Ahmed probably were taking DP together. 10 walks to 64 strikeouts. On the flip side, Tyler Fitzgerald scored the game-winning run, hasn't played since. 22 for 79 for 278, 337, 430, and a 767 OPS. with 7 stolen bases. Is it fair to say we need more Fitzgerald or Luciano, who hit 2 bombs yesterday?
I think Fitzgerald is kind of like a reincarnation of Tyro Estrada from what we were getting last year. I mean, he's got flashes of crazy speed. I mean, Tyro Estrada last year had, I think it was 25 stolen bases. I mean, Fitz is that guy who can just replace that and make it 40 real quick. Estrada's got 2 stolen bases on the year this year, maybe even 1. I mean, he hasn't been doing his thing. He's not seeing the ball. I think Fitzgerald needs to get out there. He doesn't have the glove that Tyro's got, but he sure as hell has a better bat. So I think we need to prioritize that bat here and that speed because I think he's going to make a greater impact on this team.
He's got to. And we're getting no production from Tyro. He's just up there. He probably took less than 10 pitches this homestand. I mean, he's just up there.
Swings at everything.
Swinging. I mean, I think he pre-decides when
he's
he
like
swings.
Soler. He pre-decides before he hits it.
Dude, his swings almost look worse than Soler sometimes, and that's saying something if you watch Soler take an AB. The second guy, I mean, Jordan Hicks, I'm going to try to keep it kind of mellow because he's never been a starter in his career. His last 8 starts dating back to May 31st against the Yanks, 0 for 4, 6.08 ERA, 25 earned runs and 37 innings pitched. On the year, 4 for 6, 3.79 ERA. Not bad, but I mean, he's just been, you trot him out there, it's an automatic loss lately. Hicks, obviously pretty tired, hasn't really been in this role. What do you think we do with Hicks? Do you move him to the bullpen? You use him as a 6th starter, opener? I mean, it's brutal. What should we do?
Well, I think we keep him in for a little bit longer, see if he can fix it after the All-Star break. Once we get Cobb and Ray back, I definitely think we need to send him to the pen. Bring him back to his old self where he just absolutely slings fireballs into the zone. I mean, this is a guy who's touched 105 with a sinker. I think that's unhittable. If you can get a guy in like the 7th, 8th inning, maybe even the 6th after a starter can not get through very far, I think it can be really crucial for a 1 to 2 inning guy. But yeah, I mean, if he keeps this up here, I think we should most definitely move him to the bullpen when we get Cobb and Ray back in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I'd really going back to Doval, and this kind of relates to Hicks. Like, I personally think we should try to trade Doval. I think there's a contender, maybe like the Orioles out there, somebody who just needs a bullpen arm. I mean, Doval's 24, 25. I don't have it at the top of my head. Young reliever, teams maybe think they could work with. And so I'd like to trade Doval, try to beefing up that farm system a little bit maybe. And then so I don't know how this sounds to you. Maybe you have Snell go 5, Hicks in the 6th and the 7th. You throw Rogers in the 8th and Walker in the 9th. I mean, that seems pretty – do you think that's a fair role for Hicks? I think that's
an elite move for the Giants. They could potentially – I mean, that's a punch that you got to try at least once. I mean, every single guy out of those guys got some dominant stuff. And, I mean, they're all different and they work in their own way to get through the game. So I think that we should 100% try to do that. I mean, Doval he hasn't been very good. I mean, we have some electric bullpen arms in the minors and in the majors that could play a much bigger role in the important situations of this game. And Doval has really not been fitting those shoes. So I think that we could get some great trade value out of him because of the seasons he's had in the past. And yeah, I mean, right now we really do need someone in the end of the games. So yeah, I mean, our tight game situations aren't going to cut it with a mediocre closer right now. We're going to need someone who can get out there and get it done. So, yeah, I think Doval would be a great trade candidate. We can get some decent value for him.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a good trade candidate. And I feel like it's almost better to trade him than have him give up the role to Walker. Because, I mean, as we saw, he's just out there laughing. I don't think he'd take it very well if we probably demoted him to a 7th or 8th inning guy. So even if you get, like, a top 100 prospect from somebody or maybe a couple guys just beefing up the farm system, our farm system sucks. We can't draft anybody good. I mean, we took a reliever last year. Excited for Reggie Crawford, but why are we taking a reliever in the first round? Just kind of moving on to Sean Jelly. I mean, this guy's a human. He's just throwing bowling ball. He's throwing beach balls up there. Last 6 games, 0-2. Impressive to get 2 losses as a reliever in 6 games. 13.5 ERA. He's thrown 8 innings with 12 earned runs. You know, Jelly improved, was enjoying a breakout year. I mean, 6'11" guy, pretty good stuff. Not willing to give up on him at all. Kind of overreacting to his last couple of games. I mean, what's the role for this guy going to look like? 'Cause you can't throw him in a high leverage situation right now.
I mean, I was loving the guy earlier on in the year. I mean, he was a low 2 ERA guy from a guy last year who was like mid 5s. So having that was just amazing. And now after the Dodgers and the Blue Jays really putting some weight on his ERA, I think it's going to be a lot harder for him to recover from that. Do I think we should still be using him? 100%. I think he'll figure it out. It might take some time, but I don't think we should get rid of him. 100% keep him in the system. If he has to go down for a little bit, he has to go down, but I think he's got some good stuff. I mean, he's a tall guy. He can get out far, so I really think that we should keep him and help him develop because he's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, no, he's got good enough stuff to kind of stay with us. I mean, should probably be a fourth or fifth. I mean, hopefully nobody gets chased that early with this starting rotation coming back, but he's definitely not a seventh, eighth inning guy anymore. Question of the day for you. Last time, it was like you took Fitzgerald over a couple of our arms. Like this year, like do you think this team's ever going to get a sweep? I mean, we have one sweep on the year, lowest in the league.
Rockies.
I think it's pretty. I mean, trying to stay optimistic, but is it overly optimistic to think this team could get another sweep this year? Like, I feel like we should throw a rager if that happens.
I mean, our schedule does lighten up a lot after the All-Star break. I think we're going to do it. I don't know who it's going to be. It'll probably be an unexpected good team, just knowing the Giants. So, yeah, I hope we can do it again. I mean, we've got the guys that on paper should most definitely be able to do it. So, I mean, yeah, I'd love it. I hope for it. What happened, I don't know. But, yeah, so the Rockies being your only sweep on the year, it's embarrassing. It's got to be better. So I think that they really need to step it up, and that's got to be something that's itching their back going into this break.
Yeah, no, I mean, one sweep, it's tied for the A's and like 4 or 5 other teams for the lowest. I mean, you'd think a bad baseball team could luck into a couple sweeps. They've gotten swept 2 or 3 times. So at the very least, coming out of the break, we need to win a couple series, hopefully get a sweep. And I know Farhan, we were sitting in the hotel listening to Farhan's press conference, and he made a comment that this team has it was at the time 13 games left. They have till July 30th to really show him that they're, like, if they don't start playing better, then he's going to have to sell some pieces. And so do you agree with those comments? And do you know, like, would you recommend, like, at this, with those comments, do you agree with those comments? And do you think the Giants should sell? Or, I mean, I think we keep some guys. We might honestly do a little bit of both. But what do you think we should do at the trade deadline?
I just think we can't go 81 and 81 every year. I mean, whatever it does to either lower us a lot or bring us up a lot. We can't stay in the same 50-50 zone where we keep getting the 15th, 13th, 20th pick in the draft and drafting a two-way that's not going to pan out. I mean, something's got to change because our farm system's embarrassing. We don't have much of a future unless we trade for it. So, me personally, I think we're on the verge of a playoff team. I 100% think we should go all in here. We've got the stuff. We've got the guys. I mean, I don't want to sell. I mean, as a true fan, you never want to see your team have to sell because then you're going to have to wait another 5 years to see them come back. So I think that we can pull through. I really hope we do. That's just my opinion, though. And, yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't think it's time to sell yet. Could change before July 30th, but kind of piggybacking on what you said, we've had some talks. I mean, you got to pick a direction here, Farhan. I mean, I think if we don't make the playoffs, his ass has to be gone. He needs to be out of town. But pick a direction. You're either going to go trade for Vlad, trade for Bichette, trade for some big-time guys, and you're going to go get 85, 90 wins, sneak into the playoffs, and you're going to win some games in the playoffs, or you're going to sell these guys. You're going to sell Snell. You're going to sell Chapman, and you're going to sell Doval, and you're going to do a hard reset, and you best be back in 3 to 5 years, but you need to pick a direction because this 81 and 81 bullshit, I mean, it can't keep going. It can't. It can't. And then, so we piggybacking on the draft. Tonight we draft James Tibbs III from Florida State.
13th pick.
Of course, 13th pick. I mean, probably going to be a pretty good player. Not a great player. Actually surprised he's not a two-way knowing Farhan. What do you like with Tibbs? Is there something to be excited about? Or just kind of another blah draft pick in the Giants organization again?
Well, he's not going to pan out as a reliever. I'll tell you that right now. He was drafted as an outfielder and an outfielder only. And
Wow.
He's got size. He's 6 feet, 200 pounds. So, I mean, he's got the tools in his size. I mean, he was hitting 363 with 28 bombs and a 1.2 OPS in the college ball as a sophomore. So I think that he's got some good potential. He's 21 years old right now. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a much better pick than Reggie Crawford. I think this guy could come up in the next 2 to 3 years and be a good player for this club. So I think it was a much better pick than what we've been doing, but I'd like to see either an early pick or a late pick with a good record. I don't really want to be sitting around 13th all the time. So we best hope he pans out into becoming a good player. But it's too early to make predictions, obviously. So we'll just have to see next year in low A.
Yeah, no, I mean, low A, I mean, we'll see. I mean, he's 21, which kind of puts a damper on things a little bit. I mean, 21's pretty old to be drafted, probably why he was drafted at 13. And so positives in our farm system, there's not very many. Bryce Eldridge hasn't even turned 20 yet, played in the Futures game, one of the younger guys there. 1 for 2 with a battle. Left center base hit. He's sitting at 11 bombs, over 800 OPS on the year. I mean, I think we found our first baseman of the future. I hope he's up in the next year or two. I mean, how can you not be excited about Bryce Eldridge?
I mean, he's 19 and he looks like he's 30. I mean, what's there not to like about that? I mean, he's just gonna keep growing. He's gonna keep getting stronger. I mean, we've got ourselves a serious power threat at the right side of the infield. So I think that it's gonna be really important, and I think that Farhan unintentionally did something good for this program.
Yeah, I mean, if it's something good, it's probably not intentional by Farhan. I mean, he also drafted him as a two-way.
Yeah.
Newsflash, two-ways don't work in the MLB. They barely work in college. Stop drafting two-way prospects. Just stop.
It's really stupid.
It's not going to work. I mean, Eldred stopped pitching 3 days after he was drafted. Don't call it a two-way. I mean, I don't know who in your front office is like, hey, dude, if you draft a two-way, you can keep your job this year. I mean, Ohtani should be in prison.
Yeah.
That's a different segment. Screw Ohtani. Hope he has a horrible end of the year. I mean, they'll lose in the NLDS, of course, probably to us. I'm looking forward to that if we sneak in. Probably sweep them. We got to get in, though. And then All-Star game coming up. Skeens gets the start. You excited to see Skeens out there? Hopefully Ramos can take somebody yard, and Webb's going to be out there. You excited for the All-Star game or not really?
I mean, yeah, because Ramos is probably going to go yard in his at-bat. So, I mean, he's amazing. Skeens he's getting meat ridden a lot out there. I mean, he's phenomenal. But, I mean, starting the All-Star game, he's had half the starts everyone else has had.
Yeah, let's pipe down a little bit.
He's really good. He's really good. I mean, he's got a great future. He's fine in the zone as a rookie. But, I mean, starting the All-Star game, I mean, I can name a couple guys that deserve it more than he does. And I could tell you that Willie Castro is not an All-Star. We're not going to talk about this. This is a Giants podcast. That's all I have to say. Willie Castro, he's hitting 260. He is not an All-Star.
His throw, you like his throw today to third to try to nab Yastrzemski?
Threw it right into the dugout. Thanks for the win. Actually, you are an All-Star, Willie Castro. Thanks for selling that game.
Yeah, no, I mean, great MLB The Show card, great Battle Royale card, not a great real-life player. I mean, he must have, like, something on Rob Manfred. I mean, I don't know if his family, like, has some undercover stuff that Willie Castro has, but not an All-Star. Just kind of, it's a Giants podcast. We got to talk about it. We were in San Diego. We were watching them Drays. And, you know, we took a series from the Braves, but, man, that Ozuna guy from the Braves, he's from the Braves. He'll be the first to tell you, dude, he can hit.
He had 2 bombs in the game we went to in Slam Diego. So, yeah, I mean, it's good for the Giants if the Padres lose. They're in the same division. They're kind of in a similar position right now. The Braves, I think their playoff spot's clinched already. I don't think they're much of a threat in the playoffs. So seeing the Braves beat the Padres was big for the Giants, especially on that 5-game losing streak they just had.
Yeah, no, it was great. And this Ozuna guy, I mean, 26 bombs. Actually just got named to the All-Star game. Last question. Didn't even write this one. Just kind of came up. If we traded for Marcell Ozuna, but the one, like we can trade some shitty prospect, like 150 prospect. But the one catch in the deal was, obviously he doesn't have his driver's license. You can do your research there. Would you personally drive him to every game if that meant we had a guy with 26
100%. I'd drive him to every single game. I'd be his Uber driver for free every single day. I'd rent a limo for him. He can have poppers and champagne in the back if he'll hit bombs that way. Because he's big on drinking before games and hitting bombs that way. So 100% I'd drive him to the games, yeah. Because he can't drive himself. So.
Yeah, no, he's huge on it. I mean, it's not an addiction. He just loves doing it.
Mm-hmm.
He hits bombs, too. He loves doing that. So we appreciate you guys tuning in for the second Overreaction Off Day podcast. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe on this. Our link tree will be in the description and our headers on every single social media platform. That just links all our other social media platforms. Check out our TikTok. Jake's been working hard on that. Has some pretty awesome content there. So diversify your Giants content. I mean, he's got some sweet stuff. We have some sweet stuff planned in the future. But yeah, really appreciate you guys tuning in. And we're gonna head out. I'm Jack.
And I'm Jake.
Appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you.